It's been quite some time. It's been a long time. My problem with G-Man is he seems like he's a ripoff of Cancer Man from X Files. It just kind of seems like it. More deserving.
Let's just say your hour has come again. The right man, the wrong boots can
Make all the difference.
in the world. So wake up, Mr. Ribbon. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Lady right there trying to walk past somebody. Oh, there's commentary.
I'm Gabe Newell, and welcome back to Half-Life 2. It's been a long 20 years since its release. In this anniversary update, we tried to... I'm Gabe Newell, and welcome back to Half-Life 2. It's been a long 20 years since its release. In this anniversary update, we tried to respond to as many of the community's requests as possible. And while this might not be the absolute number one request from fans, I often hear how much people would like a commentary mode, so we're excited to finally make that happen.
Physics objects. It might be hard to remember it now, but back when Half-Life 2 came out, small objects in games, like these bits of trash, were usually static. As in, they didn't really move, or if they did, it was in a very simple way. If you were lucky, they might break apart into some sprites if you hit them. One of the goals for this initial train station section was to really make it clear to players that these kinds of things were properly, physically, actually being simulated in Half-Life 2. They could be picked up, dropped, thrown, broken, moved by other forces, you name it. Here we're starting with just a small thing, showing the trash is being blown by the arrival of the train, or, more specifically, an invisible volume that's triggered by the player leaving the train.
Train station. The beginning of a Half-Life game has a big job to do. We have to introduce players to a new world while teaching them how to interact with it. Players need to quickly grasp what's happening.
One of our finest remaining urban settings.
Metro cops shoving citizens. We've only walked a few feet and we're already got problems to solve. We're introducing the Metro Cop, an enemy that eventually we're going to ask players to kill, and giving you a glimpse of the world they're stepping into. It's a simple, clear moment that shows the relationships between the Metro Cops and citizens, and by extension, the player. At the same time, we decided to reinforce the existence of a core physics simulation, showing the way in which NPCs can casually interact with objects in the world. Seeing something like a super...
Were you the only ones on that train? Overwatch stopped our train in the woods and took my husband for questioning.
Citizens. When it came time to design the human citizens of City 17 and the world outside the city, we chose to include a variety of races. Natural storytelling. To achieve our world building and storytelling goals throughout the train station, we needed a natural way to deliver dialogue without it feeling too gamey or requiring tutorials. We noticed players often approached NPCs to get a closer look, so we turned that into an opportunity for the NPCs to acknowledge the player and deliver their lines. This kept interactions low-key, which was essential since the citizens aren't exactly too cheerful or lively. The simplicity of this approach also aligned with one of Half-Life's core storytelling goals, making the narrative responsive to the player's interest. Some players want to dig into every detail, while others just want to know what to do next. Giving players control over how much story they want to engage.
Early tech planning. Shipping a game always teaches us a lot. We finally get to find out which choices we made were good ones, and which were ones we should do differently next time. So after Half-Life 1, we sat down to start thinking about what kind of sequel we could build. We had all kinds of player feedback to digest.
Storytelling. Creating a sense of immersion was a core principle in our approach to Half-Life 1's storytelling.
What? Whoa! You're kind of violent. I have to go that way? I can't. What's over here? Oh, I'm not allowed to go over there. Ow! You're violent. Why can't I go over there? You told me? I told you. I told you I'd do it today eventually. At least you got me on the starting of it. What's over there? I want to go over there. Well, what? Oh, okay. I'll go this way. Pick up the can. Pick up the can. Hey, what's going on in there? What are you doing in there? What are you doing to that poor man?
In Half-Life 1, security guards and scientists could best be described as archetypes, not individuals. They were abstractions of characters that matched the visual.
I got the bucket.
But as our technology
How's your day going, buddy?
we saw an opportunity.
Anything exciting? Anything interesting?
Visual fidelity of the character models, combined with improvements in animation.
Bam.
We could focus on creating individual characters.
Blah, blah, blah. Bernie. Blah, blah, blah. Where's my beer, you owe me?
Ourselves to write real dialogue and have characters deliver it in a way that felt realistic enough for players to not think about them as pawns in a video game.
There's still pawns in a video game.
In 2001, a couple of years into development, we were energized by Japan Studios' Ico. Directed by an animator, it blew us away with its reliance on characters as the key connection with the player, giving us the courage to keep pushing forward.
Do you have a better idea? Getting here?
Oh man, this beginning.
As long as he stays away from checkpoints, we should be okay.
This beginning part is.
We're taking enough chances as it is. Very well. And,
Well, why? What's going on, buddy?
to see.
What's wrong?
Okay, Gordon.
What's wrong, Snake? What's so wrong with your day today? Explain.
Oh, man, that's what I was afraid of. Get in here, Gordon, before you blow my cover.
Blocking tutorial. At times, we need to be certain the player has learned something, and the standard method, at least in game development, not in life, is to trap them behind a gate of some kind.
Don't feel bad, buddy, Snake. And the reason why I went down to Shoppers and all I bought was toilet paper and coffee, and I spent I think it was like $35. Coffee, bin of coffee was $20. The toilet paper was like $12. It was like 34 something, $36 or some shit. I was fucking pissed. Yeah, no, finances are fucking stupid. Like, I had to cover my taxes this month. Pick up the can. Okay. I'll pick up the can, all right. You can have your fucking can.
Playtesting. Playtesting is a core part of how we make games. We can never fully predict how players will respond or what they'll take away from what we build. So we test to learn and hopefully improve. During a playtest, we don't guide or talk to the player, even if they're stuck, as it's extremely unlikely that we'll be sitting there next to the player once the game ships. Our goal is for testers to forget that they're playtesting altogether and play as if they're at home. Any interruptions risk skewing the data, So we only step in if there's a bug that's blocking progress.
Early in a Half-Life game, one of our goals is to make promises to the player, giving them a sense of what to expect later on.
Promises?
From movie,
Where's our Half-Life 3? No.
The Citadel. We wanted the player's first view of City 17 to highlight the Citadel and its dominance over the city, representing the Combine's.
It looks like it's like 7 blocks away, maybe 8 from the distance, considering the height of my player, height of random people, height of buildings. Yeah, it's about, I'd say 6 to 9 blocks away, roughly.
If you've played any games in VR, you'll likely have noticed that the scale feels more natural.
It doesn't feel more natural. This game feels weird. Always felt weird to me. I don't know. Jesus, landlords are horrible nowadays. Like, I dead serious. Once I get my tax money, I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I wish I had time to listen to every commentary.
Even though we began Half-Life 2 with a functional third-party physics simulation, it still took us years of additional work both on the simulation itself and its integration into the game until we felt like we could meet our designers' ambitions. Maintaining a shippable level of quality and performance was something we knew would be a challenge along the way, but the more subtle issue was actually figuring out what to simulate and to what extent. We can't simulate everything, and even if we could, there are game design reasons why the experience is better when we...
Great baby. This small baby doll has a long legacy. During the long months of internal testing, some of the team turned it into a challenge, a way to make the 47th playthrough of the game a bit more fun. They placed the doll inside of a nearby blue crate and see how far they could carry it throughout the game. After Half-Life 2 launched, the community started carrying Crate Baby as well, adding their own stories and rules to the mix. A few years later, while working on Episode 2, this was the inspiration for the Little Rocket Man achievement, where players had to carry a garden gnome dubbed Gnome Chomsky throughout the entire episode. Chomsky even made a comeback for Left 4 Dead 2, the Garden Gnome achievement, where players had to carry him through the Dark Carnival campaign. These kind of interactions with players are...
It's all good. We all get drunk sometimes. I do it occasionally too, rarely, but now and then I get angry too and just want a beer to relax my nerves. Usually I only drink it if I'm in a lot of pain, usually. I feel bad because I started smoking again. I quit for like 9 months. I fucking hate myself now. But oh well. All I can do is quit and try again. Oh, I gotta fix the brightness here. Lighter. I don't want it too light, but light enough so I can see what the hell I'm doing.
Field of view. In Half-Life 1, we used a 90-degree field of view, or FOV, which was fairly standard for first-person shooters at the time. But during Half-Life 2's development, we grew unhappy with it. With our game, field of view. In Half-Life 1, we used a 90-degree field of view, or FOV, which was fairly standard for first-person shooters at the time. But during Half-Life 2's development, we grew unhappy with it. With our game's focus on characters, we put extensive effort into detailed facial and body animations. But the 90-degree FOV just didn't allow players to get close enough to fully appreciate that detail. So we began reference maps. As our characters grew more lifelike between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, reference maps. As our characters grew more lifelike between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, we wanted the game world to feel equally realistic. In Half-Life 1, limitations of first-person games often made it easier to lean on stylized or abstracted environments. But with Half-Life 2, we set out to create a setting that felt grounded in reality, which meant focusing on a lot of small details we hadn't before. One of our main steps was creating reference maps to standardize how we'd map real-world proportions into the game. These maps establish details
missing material. Early on in developing our low-level graphics code, we realized it would be difficult to spot polygons that weren't rendering due to a missing texture. When this happens, you typically just see black where the polygon should be, which could easily go unnoticed in darker scenes. To catch this bug more reliably, we created an error texture that would be visually unmistakable and generated automatically whenever a texture failed to load. This gave rise to the now iconic purple and black checkerboard texture, which has since taken on a life of its own well beyond Half-Life 2.
The raid. The section ahead, where the Metro cops raid the apartment while the player is inside, took a lot of iteration to get right. Generally, we designed Half-Life to let players set their own pace, since people move through the game in a variety of ways. Some players run, ignoring anything that doesn't seem like a threat, while others methodically poke at everything.
The raid 2. In addition to making sure the player felt the pressure to move forward, we had to ensure the raid itself was forward.
To the roof! There's no time to lose!
Ow. Oh, so I have to run? What are they gonna do? Beat me down some more? It's because I'm white. They're beating me down because I'm white. Me. Man, those guys don't like anybody. Oh yeah, they do break in.
Elf and Nova. The rooftop chase sequence posed a unique design challenge. We didn't want it to be a true gameplay obstacle, and our best case was for players to make it through on their first try. But we still wanted to create the sense of real danger, where players felt legitimately threatened if they didn't keep moving. The challenge was that without the players,
Yeah.
Elf and Nova. The rooftop chase sequence posed a unique design challenge. We didn't want it to be a true gameplay obstacle, and our best case was for players to make it through on their first try. But we still wanted to create the sense of real danger, where players felt legitimately threatened if they didn't keep moving. The challenge was that without the HEV suit, players don't technically have a heads-up display or HUD, which means no way to show damage or remaining health. After some experimenting, we created a special health system for this section, using a red glow around the screen to indicate damage. Players reacted as we hoped, taking it as a sign to keep moving, and the chase unfolded as intended. To top it off, we made health regenerate quickly, so the glow...
Playtesting anecdote 2. In the upcoming section, we needed the player to be knocked down so Alex can save them. With limited time and resources, we simplified the encounter as much as possible, reusing existing systems and letting it play out like a normal combat sequence, with a custom event triggered when the player died. After a few playtests to fine-tune the timing, we moved on. But as we got close to shipping, we encountered a problem with the playtester who quick saved constantly and immediately hit quick load whenever they thought they failed. When a Metro cop hit them, they quick loaded before Alex could step in, repeating this more than 10 times before we asked them to stop. At this stage of development, in the final bug fixing phase, we had to limit ourselves to fixing only game-breaking issues, since even small changes could risk breaking something more important. Knowing this was a rare edge case, because most players had no trouble, we made a few conservative changes. We shortened the delay between the knockdown and Alex's first line,
Alex. Nailing Alex's design was a big challenge. We wanted the player to both respect and care for her. Saving Eli was a key player goal midway through the game, and we knew that getting players to care about that goal would be easier if they also cared about Alex and her relationship with her father.
NPCs on elevators.
We all
interactive storytelling.
Administrator. Look at my dad started on Dr. Breen. Through here. Funny, you showing up on this day in particular.
She pressed 1-8 something.
Kleiner's Lab. Kleiner's Lab was the first piece of storytelling we worked on, and the one that took the longest to figure out. In addition to its role in launching the player into the game, It eventually became the unifying vision of the development team in terms of storytelling. As we began building our characters and narrative delivery around the player, many questions arose, all of which felt like major risks for the game. Would players be able to extract the important information from the scheme? FacePoser. The primary tool we built to power the Choreo system was called FacePoser, an inaccurately named program that allowed our animators to lay out the entire structure.
Boring.
Choreo commands. This debug visualization shows the two most common choreo commands actors receive throughout a scene, internally known as look-ats and move-tos. Actors are given targets to look at, sometimes
Lab interactivity. In our choreo scenes, we have the player trapped for a bit, allowing us to focus on the characters and narrative. To accommodate different players, some deeply invested in the story, others unable to stand still for more than a second, we felt like we needed a constant stream of interesting details on screen. We scattered narrative elements throughout the environment, ensuring some were interactive, essentially toys for the player to tinker with. In some cases, we embedded further storytelling into these, like the cactus mini teleporter hinting at the upcoming teleporter failure. It was a delicate balance. Too much visual interest could distract players from the core of the scene. Ultimately, Kleiner's lab played it safe with interactivity, as it was the first major choreo scene. Later, in Eli's lab, we explored it more deeply, ensuring the characters themselves paid attention to what the players were tinkering with.
We'll inaugurate the new teleport with a guttural transmission. You mean it's working? For real this time? Because I still have nightmares about that cat. No, there's nothing to be nervous about.
delivery. It took a lot of iteration and playtesting to strike the right balance.
Doc, since he's not taking the streets, you might as well get him out of his cities. What? Oh dear, you're right. I almost forgot. Barney, I'll give you the honor. I haven't got to get back on my ship, but okay.
Archetypes. We wanted to create narrative links between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 through our characters. Our idea was to design individuals who felt like representations of Half-Life 1's archetypes, so that players might find them familiar.
Writing. In the Half-Life 1 era, player goals in FPS games were still largely about fighting and defeating an obviously evil enemy. It was hard to get players to care about characters when they were as low fidelity as they were in Half-Life 1. With the planned improvements in character.
Voice actors. To create more responsive and multidimensional characters in Half-Life 2, we needed to evolve our approach to working with voice actors. While running through a script with a modicum of direction was sufficient for much of the NPC dialogue for Half-Life 1, for Half-Life 2, we decided to give the actors more of an opportunity to be involved in helping to define the characters and bring them to life. We provided much more story context to the actors, showing them the game world, the environments their characters inhabited, and the other characters they interacted with. We sought actors who could take all that information and synthesize it into their performances to elevate their characters beyond what we had imagined. We held multiple sessions with the main actors, allowing them to digest and build upon their characters over time. For scenes where characters are interacting with each other, we'd often cue and tone. Setting the right tone for our characters and their dialogue was
monitors. We use monitors a lot for storytelling in Half-Life 2 in the episodes, so much so that we even make fun of ourselves for it. The problem is they're just too damn useful. They're fantastic for expanding the world by showing events happening elsewhere. Monitors. We use monitors a lot for storytelling in Half-Life.
Theme interactivity. At certain points in our choreo scenes, we require the player to take action. Beyond simply giving them something to do and keeping them engaged, these moments serve a few key purposes. First, they allow the player to catch up, even if they've been distracted by something else in the environment. The scene could safely pause until the player completed the task, ensuring they were back and paying attention. At the same time, it let us position the player where we needed them, which was useful for framing the scene and making sure they saw something important. In some cases, we got double value out of these moments by using them to train the player. Here,
Alex's kiss. It's a small moment, but Alex's kiss on Eli's cheek was important. Eventually, we're going to ask the player to save Eli, and we want them to care about him. To build that emotional connection, we needed to show the warmth and affection between Alex and Eli. We didn't want to oversell it with dialogue or make it too big of an event. It had to feel genuine and not performative. And we were able to iterate on the subtleties of this moment until
Keep it going, Gordon.
Roll your switch. Very good.
Yay.
Sequence. Commencing. Now. I can't hunt.
Okay. Oh,
Well, did it work?
Speak for yourself.
hey, Doc.
Thank goodness. My relief is almost palpable.
Fantastic work, isn't it?
Well, I can't take all the credit. Dr. Freeman proved an able assistant.
Let's go ahead and bring Gordon through now.
Right you are. Speak to you again in a few moments. Good job, Gordon. Throwing that switch and all. I can see your MIT education really pays for itself. All right, Barney. Your turn. Gee, thanks. Gordon, as soon as you're in position, we'll send you a keypad. And not a moment too soon.
Finally. Took long enough. Maybe if I didn't dawdle so much, but how long do you think it'll take me to beat the whole game? It took me half an hour just to get here. It's a long start. Uh-oh. I want to go to the cool desert. That was cool. I don't want to come here. There's a weird guy in the background. There's some weird lady, too. How you doing? What's the meaning of your face? Uh-oh. You still there, Snake? What's going on? Can you explain to me what's happening? Is this like a game glitch or something? $7 hours? This game's 7 hours? I highly doubt it. I can probably beat it in like just a couple hours. Guaranteed. Let's see how fast I can do a run through. What the hell? I don't need some things following me. Like, what the hell are those things? Okay. Oh, I got a flashlight now. Ooh, I got a flashlight. Don't want to give me a cool laser gun, but you're willing to give me a flashlight. Oh, that was fast loading.
Phonium extraction. Another critical tool we built in Face Motor was the phonium editor. It processed the voice actors' dialogue lines. It extracted phonium to generate basic lip sync animations for our characters. The hero characters, our animators use this as a starting point to create high-quality custom animations for each dialogue line, incorporating full facial animation. However, in that dynamic,
Good luck out there, buddy. You're gonna need it.
It can't be that long. Half-Life 1 is even longer than this one, I think. This one's shorter, I think. This game's definitely not. I don't think so. It can't be. That's weird. What's glitching for you? Like just loading? My internet sucks though, so it could be one thing or another thing. Hey, don't hurt people. Pop. Hey, I couldn't pick up the cool glow stick? That's bullshit. Do.
There are situations throughout the game. Staircase. There are situations.
Switch to my crowbar.
Explosive barrels. Here, we introduce explosive barrels, a staple of first-person shooters, but with a new twist. The second pistol shot sets the barrel on fire, starting a timed detonation. A third shot will detonate the barrel immediately. This way, players could either delay the explosion or trigger it right away, depending on the situation. Players may want to feed an explosive barrel to a barnacle and then shoot it twice as a handy way to safely dispatch a cluster of them. The delayed explosion also made for a more interesting chain.
That was nice.
Exploding barrels were a fan favorite in the series, but also were internally favored by level designers who often felt that the game could never have enough.
Scanners. Scanners presented a tricky game design challenge. While we liked how their dystopian presence helped convey the Combine occupation as an oppressive surveillance state, we didn't actually want them to shoot at the player. We found that aiming into the sky to hit a small mobile enemy with a constant height advantage was something we couldn't make fun. Since we loved their role in the story, we decided that in combat, scanners would serve primarily as eyes, alerting nearby enemies to the player's presence, a feature we reinforced with sound effects from the soldiers. Beyond that, they'd only be able to harass the player with bright lights and occasionally dive bomb after taking enough damage.
Shatter class. When designing early levels where there are fewer mechanics in the player's toolkit, we found that it's just as engaging to spotlight new technical features instead, as we did here with Breakable Glass. For the shattering effect, glass was divided into a grid of small squares, allowing us to track which were intact or broken, and to blow at larger sections once enough squares were no longer connected. Each square was rendered with a unique texture based on the status of its neighboring squares, creating the sharp, jagged edges between.
Helicopter Peekaboo. The Combine attack helicopter as central antagonist was something we wanted to develop throughout the entire chapter. The relentless chopper became a character in its own right. Here, if you listen and look overhead, you can hear its engine and see it flying along the train tracks and into the distance. This first glimpse is a small piece of foreshadowing, with its presence becoming more pronounced over time, until eventually you're spraying off a water shader. The most complex shader we made for the game was the water shader, which made full use of the newly available programmable graphics cards. When water was present, the scene was rendered 3 times. First, the underwater world for refraction, second, a reflected view, and third, the parts above the water.
Interstitial scenes. As playtesting progressed, we often found areas where players lost track of their goals, which isn't uncommon in a game like Half-Life. To address this, we added smaller interstitial scenes to help guide players along their path and reinforce their objective. After finishing the
Boxcar Joe. This small scene originally featured 2 human characters, but later in development we replaced one with a Vortigaunt. We wanted to show that Vortigaunts were coexisting with humans and resisting the Combine as well.
Interesting.
We also introduced their ability to heal the player, though we didn't fully capitalize on that feature throughout the game. Vortigaunts became a useful narrative tool for keeping dialogue brief, as their hive mind justified their full
Use for the whole railroad.
Open the door. Okay, get out of my way. I think I have to be careful or something here. I should be careful. That's definitely a support beam. Oh. I thought someone was going to kill me.
Barnacle Introduction. Because barnacles can be confusing when first encountered, we wanted to introduce them in a way that showed players their behavior at a safe distance.
Surface properties. We play custom footstep sounds when the player walks on the slippery mud. This was a system called Surface Properties. They used the material type to determine the sounds and other effects that should occur when walked on or shot. Earlier in development, we had an effect that slowed players' movement when walking on mud surfaces. However, this was removed from the shipping version as it was decided it was too functional.
Dum de dum dum dum. That was a weird glitch. That looked kind of weird. Oh, now it looks normal. Weird. You're here. Here to save you. More ammo. Okay.
Barnacle bowling. This is a satisfying example of how a bunch of design elements can come together in a matrix of interactions to create a memorable scenario for the player. We got barnacles, physics simulations, slippery mud surface properties, and last but not least, explosive barrels. You've encountered all of these on their own, but they're able to snap together naturally to create a moment we call barnacle bowling.
Wow. Hey, that's mean. Okay. Have to swim to the end or something? What? What just killed me? That was funny.
This is a satisfying example of how a bunch of design elements can come together in a matrix of interactions to create a memorable scenario.
Wonder what killed me. That made no sense. Just someone went pang and I was dead. Probably a barrel or something silly. There we go. Gotta get out of here. I'm wounded. Bam. Oh, yeah.
Physics in puzzles. Often, simpler mechanics encountered earlier in the game are pulled from more complex ones as a form of training. The teeter-totter puzzle, the first physics-based attraction in the game, was actually derived from a later, more intricate washing machine puzzle in the canals. The teeter-totter uses the same principles of mass and ramps, but in a more straightforward way that players can directly interact with, helping them understand the game's physics and making later puzzles easier to tackle. This puzzle also highlights the analog nature of the physics system, with the placement of cement blocks and the player's own weight both factoring into the solution.
Combined Attack Helicopter. Players have had glimpses before, but here's where we fully introduce the main boss of the Canals chapter, the Combined Attack Helicopter. This chopper relentlessly destroys a player's cover, forcing them to move
really?
or risking them damage.
There we
We
go.
wanted this sequence to feel tense and menacing, with the helicopter seeming far too powerful to confront directly, and maintaining that intensity.
Normal maps. Half-Life 2 was developed during an exciting time for graphics, as the first programmable shader-supported graphics cards were hitting the market. Using this technology, we became one of the first games to implement normal maps, a technique that enhanced the lighting on surface geometry. The normal map described the surface's roughness, allowing each pixel of a polygon to be lit in a way that made surfaces appear bumpier and more detailed than ever possible in Half-Life 1.
Autosave dangerous. In Half-Life 1, we had a set of autosaves throughout the game, hand-placed by level designers and triggered when the player reached some specific moment or position in the game. This ensured that the game was automatically saved for you as you traversed through Black Mesa's corridors. In Half-Life 2, we found ourselves needing a new tool. The problem arose in some of the more complex arenas we built. Some of those encounters would last for quite a while and features multiple sets of enemies. Others were long, sprawling mixes of exploration and combat without soundscapes.
Did you know the dead corpses in this game were actually dead people that were photographs that they remodeled? That's disturbing. Very disturbing. I watched a whole YouTube show about it. Okay, that's cool. Didn't set off the other barrel though. It's so poor. Open it now. I left you one. You can deal with one. Okay. There we go. Uh-oh. That whole thing looks like a nightmare. Yeah. Jesus. I think that's annoying. It's random stuff in your way. Well, thank you. Save that for later. Okay. Oh, there's a little hole down here. I see. I see. What, I have to wait for all my oxygen to come back? Oh, God. Okay. Such a small, like, underwater scene here in the beginning there. It looked kind of cool, but very unnecessary. Shot you in the dick. I don't go that way. Walk along the pipe, I'm assuming. Ow. Jesus. There we go. Hey, let me walk forward. That's annoying. Ow. Some random hole in the ground. Back to a underwater scene. Oh, just get through that. That's it. Okay, this is burnt. Just run through here. Run through here. Don't care. What the hell? Hey, we're going to put you in a room with a bunch of things that'll kill you real quickly. Wow, thank you. That was really nice. Let me guess, you're going to give me some life now. Wow, very predictable. What's up? How you guys doing today? Anything side? Whoa. That's weird. Stupid. Jesus. This is just repetitive now. It's not even fun. It's just repetitive. Oh, God. Just no music. Thank you. That is annoying. I thought I killed all of you guys. Come on, back here. There we go. Okay. Oh, I see what I was supposed to do. I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Uh-oh. Don't do that. That was not smart. Oh, he just walked over. That was weird. And you have to crawl over here. Stupid. I think I remember this part. Supposed to walk here. Crouch. Crouch here. Go over here. Oh, I see. Then I have to go to the other side. Jesus. Very annoying. Just annoying. Hey, get over here. Where's the last one? Is there any more? Okay, now what? Oh, I have to go under here. T. Let my oxygen come back here. Bam. That thing didn't come out. Really? I know it's supposed to pop out or something's supposed to fly out. There we go. There we go. I didn't. Oh, really? Is that affected by the sound? Audio.
Rising water.
Yeah.
The floating bridge and wooden spools here introduce the concept of buoyancy as a tool for the player. In this case, it's not really a puzzle. It's just some fun for the player interacting with the physics. But later, we revisit this gameplay element in the canals to raise a ramp for the airboat.
Rendering systems. In the early 2000s, we couldn't afford a general purpose renderer with the broad capabilities of a modern engine. Instead, CPU, GPU, and memory limitations required highly specific solutions to rendering challenges, so we could squeeze every bit of performance out of a player's hardware. As a result, Half-Life 2 actually has 3 different rendering engines. One for world geometry, another for outdoor terrain, and a third for dynamic entities like characters and objects. These 3 renderers had to support a complicated matrix of features: collisions, ray traces, decals, offline lighting, visibility calculations, and more. On top of that, each renderer needed to support DirectX 7, 8, and 9. The differences among these DirectX versions were significant, often requiring different data storage and rendering approaches. They even used different programming languages. Altogether, we essentially had 9 different renderers, each needing unique solutions, and getting them all to look consistent was one of the most challenging tech problems we faced during development.
Biggest tech challenge was your mom. I'm such a nice guy, aren't I? Weird objects that don't load correctly or something. Like, am I supposed to go down or up? Which way am I supposed to go here? This way? There's nothing here. Oh, finally. Okay, this way. Oh, that's the way I came. What the meow? Okay. So I go in here, go up here. Now what? Jesus. Can't even walk on things correctly. Oh, it's down here. Okay.
GPU Wild West. During development, we faced numerous decisions influenced by our choice of minimum spec, the least powerful CPU and GPU combination that would still deliver a good experience for customers. In the early 2000s, there was quite a variety among GPUs than today. Wide differences not only in speed, but in fundamental approaches to rendering.
Blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Okay, you shoot the head crabs. No, I'm not Freeman. Welcome to the Red Majors show. I originally had my original one was Major Spice, but somebody took that one, and I was kind of mad. I actually lost my original YouTube a long time ago. Kind of pissed me off. I actually had one of my favorite ones was I had Vegeta over 9,000, and somehow I lost that one a long time ago. Okay, I'm gonna get electrocuted. Jesus. Hey, I don't want to. Ow. Ow. I don't care. Let's go this way. Didn't want to sit there and waste a bunch of ammo.
Hey, Dr. Freeman.
Hello. How you doing? I got some time here if you want to. I drive hard. Okay, I'll drive you hard. Okay. Are you gonna open this? Ooh, my first taste of vehicle in Half-Life. Wow. Ooh.
Fighting motion sickness. In early playtesting, many players developed motion sickness while driving the airboat. While trying to fix this, we discovered several factors that contributed to it. We found that reducing the intrusion of the airboat into the view helped, so we made several passes on the model to pare it back. Maintaining a consistent frame rate helped as well, so it was important to keep an eye on the performance of the usage. However, the single most important factor was eliminating view roll to maintain a more stable horizon.
Yay. I know I can stop and pick up stuff in that building, but screw it. I don't need supplies. Where's another one of those floating things? Oh, there. Yep. I shot it on the side and didn't do anything. That's kind of dumb. Jesus. I hate that blinding thing. Like, that's just annoying. There we go. That takes care of that. Save if I don't make the jump. I think it's funny, like, that this morning I was playing Skyrim and I was just doing stupid things. Like, I was just attacking random people and I had like nearly 9 people watching me or something. I was like, why the hell are they watching me play this retarded game? Like, don't get me wrong, I really like Skyrim in some ways, but overall, it's, I don't know what to say about it. Oh yeah, I know where I have to go now. This whole thing's burnt. Yeah, I gotta go up here now. This is annoying.
We conceived of this Combine base as both a training area and a playground for grenades. Introducing them here in different supply crates to signal that it's safe for players to use grenades freely without fear of running out. But why? The Combine encounter here uses extensive markers to direct the soldier AI towards cover, to provide good opportunities for players to make use of grenades. At the end of the area, the same infinite grenade technique helps players resolve the turret placement as a direct assault with a lot of done. Bright red light and particle were added to the game, making it significantly easier for players to follow their trajectory.
Be a psycho.
Air resistance. One important feature we had to add to our physics engine for Half-Life 2 was air resistance. At the time, physics engines would typically implement a general damping feature for slowing objects down as they move, but this merely removes energy in a symmetric way. In order to create a more believable motion, we decided to simulate air resistance instead. This allowed us to get asymmetric behavior, where the amount the object was slowed by moving through the air was different depending on how much surface area of the object was facing the direction of movement or rotation. This feature was key to making explosions and objects thrown by the gravity gun look believable. Fast-moving and fast-spinning objects are among the most expensive things to simulate in Half-Life 2's physics engine, so air resistance also improves CPU performance in cases like explosions. It is also key to presenting different materials and masses of objects. More dense objects can push aside air more easily, and this is visible. Having this effect in the simulation helps make the difference in density between cardboard boxes and wooden planks more apparent, and really helps make the objects in Half-Life 2's world much more convincing.
Puzzle layers. Because players are often totally unaware of the designer's intent, which we think is a good thing, they tend to respond in all kinds of surprising ways to our puzzles. Even seemingly simple puzzles can see countless failures along the way to success. That was the case with this puzzle to open the canal gates, which required many layers of hints and cues. The sparking wheel communicates that this is where someone would normally open the gate, but some other method is needed. A few crows draw the player's eye towards the solution, in this case, a bundle of girders on a pendulum. As grenades have been thoroughly introduced, we originally wanted players to throw one to break the wooden support structure, but that wasn't obvious enough. We added exploding barrels as a much clearer clue. But even after solving the puzzle, some players didn't realize that the gates were now open, which led them to endlessly explore the base interior looking for another exit. So we had to remind them of their original problem.
What the? They're not coming after me? Like, that's just dumb. Did you notice that? Did you see that? Okay.
Because players are often totally unaware of the designer's intent, which we think is a good thing, they tend to respond in all kinds of surprising ways to our puzzles. Even seemingly simple puzzles can see countless failures along the way to success. That was the case with this puzzle to open the canal gates, which required many layers of hints and cues. The sparking wheel communicates that this is where someone would normally open the gate, but some other method is needed. A few crows draw the player's eye towards the solution, in this case, a bundle of girders on a pendulum. As grenades have been thoroughly introduced, we originally wanted players to throw one to break the wooden support structure, but that wasn't
There.
obvious
Well,
enough.
that'll teach you.
We added exploding barrels as a much clearer clue. But even after solving the puzzle, some players didn't realize that the gates were now open, which led them to endlessly explore the base interior looking for another exit.
That's what killed me before. Hey, I didn't even notice that guy. That was funny. No. Snake, you still there? I don't know if you left or not, the live stream or not. Okay.
Even seemingly simple puzzles can see countless failures along the way to success.
Shut up. Jesus. See, there should be a time for the grenades because, like, it's just done really poorly like that, I think. I'm gonna play a little more aggressively here. At least I got more machine gun bullets now. I hate those things. Oh, that's so hard on my eyes. There's two guys there? What?
We can see that this combine.
I thought there was life in the other room, maybe. Yeah, there is. There we go. Beep, 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 beep. That was annoying. That was like the most annoying stop in the game. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was kind of cool, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, we're just going to stop your progress because you have to do this tiny, tedious thing. Open a door. Wow. I like the gaming community, but it's become so saturated now. You know, whatever. Get out of my way. Yeah, the gaming community is kind of died a lot in a lot of ways. Like, uh-oh, missiles coming for me. What to do? Take a right turn and... Okay. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't really need the life. God, that's annoying. This thing's annoying to control. Like, it's not too bad, but still. Great. One of those other situations. Oh, you gotta stop everything to open a door. I think it's over here I have to go. Oh, I got my favorite gun. There you go. Do you know what gave rise to the 357 Magnum? What was the predecessor? The Nazi Luger. Most people don't know that. I don't have time for crap. Thanks. Stupid. Where am I supposed to go now? Through here? Hello. Goodbye. Hey, that's not very nice. Shoot him right in the head. Right in the kisser. Come here, where are you? My problem is people who take video games way too seriously lately. It's like they think they're. I was playing League of Legends a little while ago, and that one kid who's like acting like he's going to the Olympics. I'm like, dude, it's a game. Games are meant to be fun, enjoyable. Have a fun time playing it. Doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as they're having fun. And man, did he lose his crap, man. I'm at one life. I'm at one life. Blam, died. Stupid video game. Okay. No more Magnum bullets. Awesome. I might as well just stick to my machine gun. I'm gonna take it in the head. Oh, I can't just walk through there. Get away from me. They said play Half-Life 2. It'd be fun. When you just stood there, letting me beat you down with a crowbar, like, what did you think was gonna happen? Oh. Stupid. You should have kept shooting. There's some things they did really right with this game, and some things they did kind of wrong. Jesus. Here, have some magical life. Really? Now I know why they gave me the Magnum. Makes complete sense now. Okay, some random chopper just putting bullets into me. Okay. Jesus. There we go. Give it a little save. Whoa. Psycho plane guy. So this is a good reminder. So if there's a bunch of bad guys in a room of any kind, you have to ever destroy them all for whatever reasoning. You make them come out of the building, then you kill them all. Where did these guys? They just magically like came out of nowhere. Okay. At least I half-assed did it. There we go. Now we can move forward to whatever we're moving forward to. Oh, opening a door. Let's open a door. The whole game is opening a stupid door. Okay. It's like Doom. Gotta find the red key. Gotta find the red key. Hey, didn't even see you there. Who the hell was shooting? Who else was shooting me? No, that was nice. At least I saved. Good thing I saved. Whoa. This is my opinion of the whole thing. Grenade. Okay, I would have been dead long ago. Whoa. Who's shooting me? Oh, it's Buddy underneath the grate. Whoa. I can't even grab the armor. Where am I supposed to go now? Oh, can't even climb over the rock pile. What? You're like, I'll be safe over here. No, you're not safe.
Mounted guns were added here to help train the player on the gun's effectiveness against the for the final battle in the reservoir. This was necessary because up to this point, the helicopter was invulnerable to air pressure, and we had to give some indication that it could be harmed with larger weapons. This was only somewhat effective in playtest due to the amount of pressure the player was under at the moment, which led us to developing the particle effects and sounds that would sell to the player if they were really doing damage.
Finally. That whole thing was annoying. Yeah, I don't think this game has at least 7 hours of gameplay, even if you put in the most difficult settings. Like, I don't think so. Maybe most 3. Uh-oh. Another plane. Oh, thanks.
Helicopter bombing. This is another example of us creating movement patterns while driving the airplane. The helicopter attempts to stay in front of the player when dropping bombs, and if the player backtracks, it switches to hover and turns to attacking the player. In one playtest, the bomb just so happened to drop between the pipe seats, creating a pretty cinematic moment. The playtester had a positive reaction, so the team decided to script it so it happened every time. This process has become part of our organic design process. Every so often, a cool thing randomly happens in the playtest. We find a way to make it happen more reliably.
Well, thanks. Wouldn't it just kill me? Like a landmine just hit on my ass. I have no armor. And I just crawl over that. That's comical. It's kind of like putting you in a perspective of like an action film. That's all it is. A sci-fi action film. That's all it is. Boom, boom, boom. So, Snake, where should I go? Are you still there, Snake? What the fuck? Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you want me to try more video games out. And what kind of games would you want me to try out? Just message me, leave me a note somewhere, or leave a comment. I just finished doing a live stream last night, actually, of or this morning, bright early this morning, of Portal, and I got a lot of good feedback from that. So Usually around this time, I don't do the greatest on getting people watching me on my live streams, but usually in the evening, I get a lot of people watching me. I find. What? That I did not expect. That was kind of cool. That was kind of interesting. Kind of just hovered me and stopped me right in my tracks. That was kind of cool. I know eventually I get a gun on the boat, but that's not good. Whatever. Will I make it? Okay, that was burnt. That was just burnt. Whoa. Hey, how are you doing? I'm going to save the game right here, and I have some other things to do. Save and exit. And I'll get back to a live stream later this evening some point. I hope you guys enjoyed watching Half-Life 1.